everyone. So, welcome back to the Commentary Podcast. This is what we'll be calling episode 1.5.
Yeah, so today Tina and I will be passing the mic to Leilani and Heyon, who will provide a little bit more perspective onto like our whole Say Yes to Andover theme and just also talk about their personal experiences at Andover. So, yeah.
Welcome to the Phillipian podcast. Just a quick disclaimer, this podcast does not represent the Phillipians' ideas or opinions, but our own. My name is Leilani. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a lower or a 10th grader on this campus. I'm from New York City, and my interests are more humanities, so I do mock trial, Phillipian, and other things like that.
Hi, my name's Heyon. I use she, her pronouns. I'm also a lower. I'm from Seoul, South Korea, but on campus I live in Ishim Dormitory in West Quad North. I'm a really artsy person, and so on campus I take a lot of art classes. I do some graphic design for the Phillipian. I design merch for like the dorm and our cluster, our class. Also a golfer. It's spring term, so having fun on the team right now.
Lately, we've just been thinking about sort of as it is revisit season and new admitted students are coming into this campus for next year. We were thinking or reflecting upon our education journey so far and why we chose Andover. So just speaking from my own perspective, for elementary school, I was in a public school, but I don't really remember it that well. So for most of my life, I have been in a private education or private school. So for middle school, I went to Brearley, which is a private school, all-girls school in Upper East Side, which is a very big difference from here as it is not. It's smaller, all girls, and yeah. And I personally liked Brearley very much because of the connections it made and because it was so small and tight-knit. You knew almost everyone there, and it was very comforting and warm there. But when I was in 8th grade, I always thought that I wanted to change because Brearley did have a high school, so I could have continued, but I wanted to change. So I decided to apply to Andover, and I chose Andover not necessarily because I wanted to leave Brearley because it wasn't academically challenging or any real reason like that, but more so I wanted to expand my view because I was in the newspaper for Brearley, for my old school, and I just thought that it was smaller. Wasn't getting the outreach that I wanted. I was very interconnected, but I thought that it could be more. I could do more for myself and to get myself out there. And so when I heard of the Phillipian and things like that, and just how many connections and bigger connections Andover is compared to Brearley, I just thought that would be a good change, and so I went for it.
Wow, that is very inspirational. My story is a tad different. I'm from Korea, as I mentioned, so moving to a boarding school to the States was a big decision for me and my parents to make.
Definitely.
I have family, my dad's side, they're in New Jersey, so we kind of had the feeling like even if I do come here, like I have family, so if there's any problems, I do have someone that could take care of me.
Yeah.
But I mainly came here because Andover is honestly just a humongous school, and I had no idea. Like, I didn't know I was going to apply to any boarding schools until, like, applications came out. I was just like, oh, this is here. Let me just try it because, like, I'm going to go into high school. We can talk about this later. I had this whole, like, high school, High School Musical type of, like, fantasy. I was like, this is going to be amazing. So I applied. And I only realized this when I came here, but there are just so many opportunities here. I don't mean to make, I guess, advertise Andover or anything, but coming from a school, which, my old school was amazing, but Andover is just on a different scale. Like, there are so many clubs here. There's so many different types of sports. The classes, like, if you look at the course list, there are so many different types of classes. As soon as I came here, like, the first few weeks, the only thing I could think of was, like, wow, there is something for everyone here.
Yeah, definitely.
And I didn't know that when I first came here, but again, not advertising the school or anything, but I'm really glad that I decided to come here because I'm someone who has just a wide array of interests, and Andover feeds me a lot of good stuff.
Good stuff. I would have to agree because I know that at Andover we have club fair in fall and spring, but mainly fall club fair is the biggest one because that's when new students come in and they want to introduce themselves and introduce the clubs. And I know that I signed up for at least 40 clubs just to like get myself. It was so different having a club for like everything you can think of. I remember there was like a dinosaur club.
I had no idea what that was. There was literally someone in like those big
blow up balloons.
Yeah. I was like, what is this for?
No, definitely. And I think there is definitely a place for everyone, and if not, they're very open to making a place. And I think, sort of speaking on that subject, there are a lot of teacher or faculty advisors that would be more than willing to help you out and to help me out or the people I've seen around me out. And so I just really like that community in that sense. And in terms of club-wise, we just spoke on how it's lived up to our expectations, but I also think that...
I don't think it lived up to I had no expectations. It went beyond anything I could think of. It was crazy. It was really crazy.
I feel like I had expectations for it because I did have siblings that went here or siblings that currently go here. And so I wanted to know how I would differ from them in the sense that like how I would make my own footprint here and how I would be able to sort of make my name here that's separate from them. So I did have like that one moment where I was like, if I come here, will I just be like
just another one of them?
Exactly. And so like that was hard to figure out. But when you were like speaking on the clubs, I feel like it's not that, I mean, that is a valid feeling, but I do think that it's easy to, or not easy, but it's available if you want to sort of like try something new and make your footprint and do something that you actually want to do.
Right.
And speaking of clubs, I know you mentioned you're an international student, Heyon, and so do you feel represented through the clubs? I know you're speaking a lot on sort of moving forward and the future and how you can expand yourself and do the things you like, but in terms of like culture or maybe even other things, do you feel represented here as an international student through the clubs, through other things on campus, like like a domestic student would sort of have that already solace from not having to travel many miles to get here?
Yeah, like initially coming here, I was scared about how people would perceive me as an international student. Like, is there something that I need to show as an international student or like specifically as a Korean? I know coming here, like, you know, K-pop and K-dramas are like such a big thing now, and it's like exploded, and it's nothing that's really related to me personally, but I was thinking like people have these ideas of what Korean culture is like. Is there anything that they expect of me? And I was thinking over and over, like, do I have to like dress up myself? Do I have to look good? And those are just questions that I kept asking myself in the beginning of freshman year, I guess. But as I, you know, got through school, I'm getting it back into clubs. I was introduced to AKS, Andover Korean Society, and I think they do a great job of talking about Korean culture, but also bringing like hands-on activities, like some goofy things, like the super spicy noodle eating challenge. I've seen so many people try it, and it's small, but it really brings together the community. And also, we have a lot of dance events, dance programs, and a lot of times K-pop is played and, you know, people dance to it. There's also like K-pop club. And I really appreciate the people that are able to realistically show what Korean culture is like, instead of just saying, you know, this is all K-drama, K-pop, idols and all that stuff. That Koreans are people too. Yeah. Like, we're not just idolized people.
I definitely see where you're coming from for that. I mean, me personally, sort of speaking from my culture, I am a Black student, and so I feel like coming here, I knew that this was a PWI. I knew that it was going to be mainly white people that I'm going to be surrounding myself with. But sort of going back to the clubs, I do feel like Han was saying about like AKS and like K-pop and those communities that have that Korean culture and sort of like an appreciative, and we are all human and we can all appreciate our culture together. I do feel like we have that here for students of color, especially Black students. We have CAMD, we have BSU, which is our Black Student Union, and all of those. And we have the Sisterhood, which is coming back, which is our Black and Brown sort of like sisterhood, all female identifying members. And so that's really nice. And I also think that, I mean, Andover does have a lot of work to do, I feel like. There are always more things to be done. But I think that in terms of clubs, it's a very good first start.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that.
I think it's also a more casual beginning.
Yeah.
Like to allow students to adjust to this new environment, whether they're international or they're not.
Definitely.
Instead of having like, I mean, CAMD is great, but sometimes like for new students, it's such a big and important, I guess, formal part of the school, and people might get nervous to step into the building.
Definitely.
So clubs are, I think, a good approaching system.
I mean, I know that the first time I saw CAMD, it was during, I didn't have revisit because of COVID, but I had heard of it from my brother and just other people, and the like Zoom revisit, they had the tour. And I know that when I first came on campus, I was like, looks so comfy with all the chairs and the couches, and it looks so welcoming. But at the same time, I'm like, this is such like a formal part of school. I just felt like, I mean, even though it is sort of where all of the minority students hang out, and even non-minority students, it's just a time to appreciate culture, and it's very welcoming, but it is a big step to just open the doors and just step in.
Right.
I don't know, I just felt really not pressured, but I felt like there's a weight.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Like, as an international student, CAMD provides NISO, New International Student Organization, and they have world partners who are already students of Andover, who help new international students of Andover adjust to some things that they might experience, whether that is, getting used to the dorm, having meals together. I feel like CAMD as itself is a little bit hard to get yourself into, but they have that little, NISO was very helpful, I think, with their bright pink t-shirts.
Yes, I remember being a world partner last year, even though I was domestic. But I just like because for NISO, we have the summer before the students come in.
Yeah.
They have the like, you have a Zoom and you call your students like 3 times during the summer. I think that just like having someone there and a familiar face just spot on campus, I find is a very good and helpful thing that NISO does.
Yeah.
For students, especially international students.
Right.
And I think that's just so nice. And also iFest. There's iFest.
Oh my god, iFest. iFest is a godsend.
Why?
What? iFest is amazing because it brings so much food together, and sometimes it has your own culture food. I know there's definitely like Korean chicken there, but there's also food that I've never tried before. And in addition to,
Food is the gateway to your soul.
honestly, like in addition to, I guess, connecting yourself back with your culture, you also get to learn about different cultures through food. As you said, that's the gateway to your soul. So, no, iFest is great.
Eat food.
Yes.
New admitted students coming here, eat food.
Eat food.
Like, I wasn't the best meal eater freshman year or lower year. And not even because of the workload. I just, like, forgot about it. Which, honestly,
that sounds really
sounds
unhealthy.
hard, but it's not that hard when you're just, like, stuck in only doing your work and just going from place to place to place. Speaking of which, don't overbook yourself.
Yeah.
It's not going to help you, and it's not going to help the clubs that you're in or any other thing that you're in, because you're not going to be able to give 100% of yourself and improve the club. Don't do it.
There's a lot of great things here, but they're only great because people really devote themselves to it.
If you don't care about something, I mean, take the time to go to fall club fair and sign up for
you sign up for 40 things.
Sign up for everything you can think of.
I signed up for like 23. I thought that was a lot, but you're on a different level.
I was curious.
Okay.
I mean, I dropped 35 of them. No, 37 of them.
37.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even that. You shouldn't feel bad for dropping clubs, first of all.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad for dropping clubs, because those clubs will have someone who that club is on their top 3, top 2, and they will devote themselves to it. If you're not going to, don't do it.
Definitely.
But also just like, not even the sense of just like giving your all to the club and how the club will fare up, but also for your own personal footprint here on campus. Like, I know we were talking about early how Heon's like artistic and I'm more into like mock trial and writing and things like that. Do what you're interested in, because at the end of the day, I know that when people think of Andover, they think, oh my god, so many opportunities, so many things to put on my college application in 4 years, or how many ever years you spend here. But it's way deeper than that, because at the end of the day, you want to come out knowing that what you did had an impact on not only others around you, but also yourself. That you're proud of what you did, and that what you did reflects you as a person. And I feel like that's more important, or will shine even more on the college application that you want to put out, if that's what you're so worried about. But yeah, definitely put yourself, I mean, I know we're in the non-Sibby spirit, but I definitely think put yourself first and others, but make sure that you know what you want and you're going for what you want and not what another wants, or not what you think would be best in terms of like how you would frame yourself. Do what you want to do.
Right. It's really important to take care of yourself here. It's so easy to just get washed away by all the work. Like school, sports, extracurriculars, like all of that. It can get overwhelming. So please, new students, please take care of yourselves. Eat your food. Get your sleep. You know, do whatever makes you happy. As my wonderful peer here, Leilani, said, you should be doing the things that you like to do, because it's the easiest way to, I guess, sustain your activity there.
Definitely.
If you don't like it, you're gonna realize that it's a struggle to keep going to those meetings or write this or do that. You're going to find it difficult, and then maybe you started off liking it, but it's just too much. Then listen to yourself.
Listen to yourself. Listen to your body. Just listen. Yeah, you're 4 years here if you're a 9th grader, or even less. But like, even 1 year here can feel like a lot. So yeah, and definitely for at least 9th and 10th especially, but anyone incoming, like, make friends. Find people that you can sit down and have a conversation with.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people I was worried about, like, how am I going to find my happiness here? There's so many ways, because I love doing so many different things. I would love to be a part of so many different things, like cooking club, dinosaur club. I haven't been, but like, it sounds so cool. And I honestly know that whatever I do, I will be so happy in it. I know it sounds weird or whatever, but I really enjoy doing a lot of different things. So, and people worry about, like, how am I gonna balance my work life and my social life and all that? But it'll all come together when you just find your comfort place.
Definitely.
So don't worry about it and just follow your heart.
And especially like prefects or proctors, or people that'll be in your dorm,
they're there for you.
They're there for you, and
they know it's a commitment.
And they've been through it.
Yeah.
They've been through it, and they know what you're feeling, and they want to help you. You just need to ask, you know? And even some of them won't even need you to ask. They'll just recognize it because of what they have gone through.
Yeah.
And so just don't be afraid to just reach out, especially to the people who are your age or maybe a little older, or just students here in general, because they're very kind and they're very willing to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real.
For real. Take care of yourselves.
Please, just have fun. YOLO! Leilani?
I think we often forget to do that, honestly. I often forget that I'm here as a teenager who's trying to live a successful life.
Literally
but also,
15 years old.
But also, you know, I'm here, I'm only, 14 through 17 once.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just, yeah.
Thank you for listening to the podcast.
It's Phillipian podcast.
XOXO, Heyon and Leilani.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.